YouTube, Hoppy2345 back once again, and in this video for y'all I'm going to be ranking every song off of Death Race for Love by Juice WRLD. Before we get into this ranking, I just want to say this is one of my favorite albums of all time, and Juice WRLD is my favorite artist of all time. So if your favorite song from this album falls down in one of the lower tiers, that doesn't mean I don't like the song. I like every single song on this album. I think they all bring some sort of value to the album. I just want to talk about each track a little bit, go down from worst to best, and get some community talk going on down in those comment sections. So make sure to leave your opinion on if you like these rankings or just your opinion on the album in general down below. I would like to see y'all talk betweenst each other, and I will be sure to reply to any comment that goes down there. Keep in mind also as we look through these that the tiers are pretty much interchangeable, but some tiers are a little bit more solidified where the spots are like this one is there, that one's there. But let's get right into the lowest tier, which is tier 5. And starting off this tier, I have at 21, the worst song on the album in my opinion is Desire. Now it's not that I hate Desire, it's just I feel it brings less than every other song on this album. Desire is really just a hook with a very small verse, and then the hook repeats. The hook's not uncatchy, it's not bad. It's just, a little bit too repetitive, doesn't have much replay value for me. Anyways, let's get into number 20. Number 20 is Big, and in Big, Juice WRLD tries to go straight rap mode, which I love straight rap Juice, but out of all the songs on this album where Juice does try to go in with the straight bar for bar rapping, I think Big is the one that falls the shortest. The beat work's not the best on it. The hook isn't the best on it. I think the hook is very uncreative, but I do like the song as a whole. Some of the lines in the verses are actually pretty good, and I still do, like I said, like every song on this album, so don't feel slighted if you do like Big. Next up, we got Won't Let Go. Now, Won't Let Go is a love song. I actually do find it very, very catchy. Nothing really wrong with this song. The verses are good, the hook's good, but compared to some other songs on this list, I feel it is a little bit less forgettable. A little bit more forgettable than some of them other songs on the album. And at number 18, I went with Rider to end the tier 5 songs. Rider is a song that had to take a while to grow on me. The hook is not bad, but I don't like the way the beats mixed on the hook. Some of the lines are pretty fire. I do like every song on this album. I might repeat that a few more times throughout this video, so just stick with me through that. But Rider, not a bad song, but it's ending off tier 5. I think these 4 songs are interchangeable in tier 5. If you think Desire is better than Rider, I would not argue you, but this is the way I decided to place them. Next up, we're going to go to tier 4. And at tier 4, I have at number 17, On God featuring Young Thug. Now, Young Thug actually does pretty good on this song. I like Juice on this song as well. They do a pretty good job bouncing off each other. But I do think it is a tier 4 song, not any higher. These songs also I do feel are interchangeable, so I wouldn't argue you if you said On God was the best out of tier 4. But for me, I got it at the lowest. Then I got Fast. Fast is a very catchy song. It took a while to grow on me. At first, I thought it was just a little bit too simple, but there's beauty and simplicity on Fast, and I actually do really, really like every song from tier 4 and up. Like, I would put them on rotation and listen to them. I wouldn't be like skipping them or anything like that. I like these songs quite a bit. Next up, we got a love song, Who Shot Cupid. Very catchy song, very good in the long run. Nice bars. I do like it quite a bit. Next up, we got Syphilis. Syphilis is like a XXX inspired, like grunge rap type, very, very, in your face type music. If you like that type of music, Syphilis could go even higher, up to tier 3 for you. Me personally, that type of music I can enjoy, but I do prefer other types certainly a little bit more. I do like Syphilis. Juice goes very hard, but for me it is number 14. Then at number 13, I got He Motions. He Motions is a very good song. Juice gets in his feels. I like the hook on this song, but the reason why I have it in tier 4 is I think it leans on the hook a little bit too hard. The hook repeats a few too many times for my liking, and I am nitpicking here because this is my favorite album, one of my favorite albums of all time anyways. So if I'm being a little bit nitpicky, I can't just sit here and say everything I like about every song and say every song is the best. I have to do a little bit of constructive criticism. Now, number 12 is one that I think is very, very, very controversial here at number 12 because I think it could be in tier 5, but instead I have it at the top of tier 4 as my favorite song in tier 4 just because I like She's the One's uniqueness. I feel like out of all the songs on this album, She's the One has a different type beat. The flows are good. But either way, it's in tier 4. Once again, this tier is pretty much interchangeable throughout 17 through 12. I wouldn't argue you too hard on any of them. But let's get into tier 3. Tier 3, I got 4 songs. Now, this is where I kind of do think that these two are kind of solidified, or these 4. I think Maze and Hear Me Calling are, kind of interchangeable, as well as Bee's Knees and Out of My Way. But I would never put, for example, Maze above Bee's Knees, just because I really do think Bee's Knees and Out of My Way are 2 of the most underrated songs on this album. But either way, let's talk about Maze and Hear Me Calling first. Maze is a very good song. It is a song on the album where he actually says, I'm in a death race. Very catchy. It doesn't drag on at all. Maze doesn't. It changes up the flow and the words he's saying. It doesn't repeat the hook too much. I really like Maze, but a song that is a little bit more popular throughout the community, and also I do think has better bar for bar. Hear Me Calling I put slightly ahead of Maze, not because I actually think they are that much better than one of another, just more so that Hear Me Calling is more recognizable. It does have a very, very, very catchy beat switch down in there. And some very good lines as well. Now, Maze and Hear Me Calling are both really good, but I want to talk about these 2 songs very, very much. Number 9 is The Bee's Knees, and The Bee's Knees is actually one of the most underrated songs on this album. I never hear any noise about this song, but this song does not get stale 1 second throughout. There are beat switches, flow switches all the way throughout, and Juice WRLD just goes hard as shit. Now, Out My Way and Bee's Knees are played back to back on the album, so that goes really well together too. And then number 8, I have Out My Way. Out My Way, if it wasn't for 10 Feet, which I have coming up later, Out My Way would be the best display of pure bar for bar rap skill on this album. Out My Way just goes straight in. Juice don't waste no time breathing or coming up with no catchy choruses or nothing like that, even though he is great at doing that stuff. On Out My Way, he just gets straight into rapping and talking his shit, and I absolutely love it. So that is why I have Out My Way and Bee's Knees rounding into the top 10 on this album. Maze and Hear Me Calling, either one in my opinion, could be considered that 10 spot. They're very close. Next up, we're going to get into the tier 3, and this is where you get into some songs that I'm absolutely fascinated with. Number 7, we got Make Believe here. Make Believe is a song that I personally don't bump very much on a regular rotation, but when I do hear it, I'm like, dang, Juice WRLD is snapping. He goes in on Make Believe. I absolutely do think it is a tier 2 song, even if it's not in my daily rotation. I think it does deserve that nod. Now, number 6, Feeling is a song that personally I really, really like. I think is a song that only Juice WRLD could have created. It's got a very Juice WRLD type vibe to it, and Juice WRLD is my favorite artist, so I really do like the song Feeling. Feeling is definitely number 6 for me, with basically for me, tier 2 is interchangeable, except for Make Believe is solidified at 7. Ring Ring, Empty, and Feeling are all pretty good. Could be considered for me the 4th best song on this album. Next up, we got Ring Ring, though, featuring Clever. I think Clever was the perfect feature for this song. Juice WRLD shows his rock rap type song making skills in this, and I absolutely love it when Juice WRLD tries to make rock influenced music. I think he was one of the best at doing that. I think Death Race for Love does that very well, and Ring Ring is the perfect example of that. Next up, we got the intro track for the album. Empty is the perfect intro track for this album. It is just a anthem of feelings, emotions. Juice WRLD is absolutely snapping, letting you know he feels empty. And you can really hear it in his voice, and that's why I have Empty at number 4. I think it was the perfect intro track. That being said, Ring Ring and Feeling very, very much so did get consideration for that spot. Now, for the tier 1 songs, I have 3 songs completely interchangeable. I think they all could be considered the best song on this album. But these are the 3 that I wanted to talk about the most as well. So let's get into it. I think in each one of this songs, or each one of these songs, Juice WRLD shows off expertise in each field of songmaking. So number 3, I have Robbery. Robbery, Juice WRLD shows he can make a hit with the best of them. He shows that he can make your one dances, your hits that will just go blow up on the radio regardless. This is his, what's poppin' type song where you make it and you know it's a hit. This is a hit. So Juice shows with Robbery that he can make hits with the best of them. With Flaws and Sins, Juice shows that he can make a song showing his emotion, a beautifully constructed song where it goes line after line being good. Flaws and Sins quality with showing emotion or love towards his person or in a unique way. I think he goes beyond what a lot of people do in that song and shows his ability to perfect that type of music. This song reminds me a lot of McLaren Driving or Tic Tac Toe. Both of those songs get really into Juice WRLD being emotional on the song and really, really snapping lyrically as well and making a beautiful layered track. Just a really good song, Flaws and Sins is. I really enjoy when he uses that country accent, kind of change it up a little bit. I think he gets his emotions across vocally, both in the way he says the words and with the way that he uses the words and the words that he is saying. I think he does a really good job at uniquely, basically just showing his emotions through this track. Then at number 1, my personal pick for the top song on this album is 10 Feet. And what 10 Feet does is it shows Juice can put away all the emotions, put away all the hit making, put away all the hooks, and much like with an Out My Way, 10 Feet, Juice just shows he can rap bar for bar with the best of them. He can make bar for bar songs like Lil Wayne, Eminem, some of these bar for bar rappers, or like backseat freestyle Kendrick, or diss track J. Cole, such stuff like that. And that's why these 3 made it into my tier 1. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you're on this channel looking for NBA prize picks content, I will get back to that soon. I kind of burnt myself out, was sick for a little while, had vacation, and was discouraged, but I want to apologize to y'all that was counting on me making those videos. I will get into that again soon, but I've had a lot of fun reviewing this album, and I'd like to do that in the future too. So I'm going to use my YouTube channel to just kind of, flex my creativity, use it as I will, and have fun. So I hope y'all can forgive me for that. Either way, guys, press like, press subscribe. Go ahead and comment what you thought of this video and what you think of this album. I'd love to read the comments. Thank y'all. Happy 2345 out.